Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Wigan Hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey? Brave the Wild's available on thesportstuff.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and Double Twist. Boy, it is awesome to be back here talking about Brave the Wild. Once again, talking about the Minnesota Wild, the first place Minnesota Wild. Yeah, I said their name 3 times there. Sorry. Well, I guess there's a reason for that, because 3 straight shutouts for Devan Dubnyk. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, this guy is, he's back. He's Devan Dubnyk again. He's the guy we came to know and love a couple of years ago, and it's a wonderful thing. You can't count on this to happen constantly throughout the season, but boy, we'll take what we can get, and we're getting some very, very, very good goaltending right now, without a doubt. So let's try not to get too off track and jump right into the Thursday game against the Buffalo Sabres, October 27th, and then Saturday, October 29th. We'll be reviewing only 2 games today and wrap up the month of October as I head into lawn cleanups pretty soon here. This will probably be the last show before cleanup season. We'll see, though, and then hopefully, again, like I'll sneak some shows in during that time, so it won't be too bad. But it won't be as regular, I guess we'll say. It only lasts till about Thanksgiving, so it's not like Brave the Wild's going to go on a big old hiatus, and it better not. The longest possible would be 3 weeks, but I truly doubt it's going to be that bad. Buffalo, all right. What a nice little game. 4-0 Minnesota in Buffalo. Remember last year when it's like, well, the Wild have to beat Buffalo. This will end the losing streak for Mike Yeo, and then that didn't end it. It's like you knew, here we go. This might finally be the real one this time. Or every year it was a little bit worse, the little swan dive during the midseason. This is it. I mean, this is just classic. And Buffalo's getting a little bit better. I mean, they're not that good. They came into the game only having won 1 game so far. Unfortunately for Timo Pulkkinen, this would be his last game with the Wild right now at the NHL level. We'll talk about that. Well, I'll mention it right now. After the Buffalo game on Friday, the Wild put Pulkkinen on waivers, hoping to get him down because that's how his contract status is in the NHL, being he's kind of a semi-veteran already. He's Coyle's age, Charlie Coyle's age. So down to Iowa he went. He wasn't claimed, so Detroit didn't claim him back. And then the Wild ended up calling up Christoph Bertschy. I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about him on and off for quite a while, a 6th-round pick years ago. We'll talk about him again in the next game. I don't know. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. And Tyler Graovac, surprising. We'll get to that again later. I'm getting way ahead of myself. So the one guy that I don't think is going to get sent down anymore. And it's like you could put him down in Iowa. You don't have to send him back to Europe or let him go back to Europe type of thing to avoid the whole losing losing one of the years on the contract. You know what? I think Eriksson Ek, Yule Eriksson Ek, because I'm saying it correctly now. I knew it before the last show, which is only not that long ago. I knew it, and I said Joel anyway, because you just see Joel. No, it's Yule Eriksson Ek. It's spelled Joel, and it's the same name, but let's say it the way they say it, I suppose. Just like might as well say Gronlund, but yeah, we'll nail the Yule right now. Because first names, I guess, are one of those things where you kind of have to say it right. You just kind of have to. Second goal of the year, and this one was a real one. His first goal, remember, it was a real goal and everything, but it was more of a grinded out kind of just attacking the net, crashing the net, and putting the puck past the goalie. Sure, that still counts. That's a goal. But this is the kind of stuff you saw when you saw Yule Eriksson Ek as a legitimate first-round prospect, and that's why the Edmonton Oilers liked him. I mean, it was just a nifty little shot. Scandella and Prosser quitting the puck forward, but Yule Eriksson Ek pretty much doing everything after that. Just a beautiful release right past the Nielsen, the Buffalo goalie, Anders Nielsen, who could have been better, I suppose. The Wild only got 21 shots on that. This is, again, another trend you're going to notice as well. Devan Dubnyk peppered all night, 38 shots on goal from the Buffalo Sabres, and Dubnyk stopped everything that came his way, whether it was a good shot, a bad shot, whatever it was. He just got the job done. Spectacular performance by Devan Dubnyk. But again, a wonderful little wrister from Eriksson Ek. Stewart and Suter setting up Zucker. Suter is leading the team in scoring. He's got 10 points already through 7 games. It's just been great. Or is it 8 games, pardon me. Just wonderful overall job by Suter. You're not seeing the gaffes now. After the Nashville, after the New Jersey game, he's been outstanding. Stewart continuing to put points on the board on occasion, adding assists. He is putting in some nice passes. Zucker, though, getting his second goal of the season, and this was a beauty as well, late in the third period to put the Wild up 2-0. Second period was just classic grind it out, pretty much Devan Dubnyk having to do what he does, and Anders stopping what he needed to, but only 4 shots on goal. The Wild would only muster 9 more shots on goal the rest of the way after a 13-shot first period. Buffalo, my God, 30 shots on goal the next 2 periods, 19 in the second, 11 in the third, and Dubnyk just, made it look easy. He just makes it look easy. He made Buffalo look like they got nothing over there, and they have some talent. My goodness, I mean, you got O'Reilly, you got other guys over there. Kyle Oposo, for crying out loud. Sam Reinhart's a decent player. Gionta, I mean, Tyler Ennis as well, obviously a big prospect there. Not off to the best start that he would like, but it'll come around. Hudson Fasching too, Hudson Fasching out there getting some shots on goals, being physical as well. Solid player, nice future in the league, but it didn't matter so much in this particular night. Suter ultimately with a goal and an assist, and his goal was pretty nice, putting the Wild up 3-0. That was a pretty nice goal, without a doubt, from Parise and Folin. Now, Parise got injured in this game, and that'll be his last point for a while. They're calling him week to week. That's not good. I mean, again? Really? Again? Come on. Week to week. See, it's one thing you say day to day, but week to week? I mean, oh boy. That's... come on. Why can't Parise stay healthy? And I know he's physical, and he's grinded out this and that, but my God, the guy it seems like he can't stay healthy for a consistent period of time. It's unfortunate already. And he, he'd been producing. He was kind of quiet the first couple of games, but then here you go, he starts adding the points. And it's like, oh man, that's frustrating. I got to tell you, Koivu would add an empty netter later on. Stahl and Coyle adding assists there in that top, kind of a top line. You get the idea. Another shuffle job, but that's fine. Whatever this guy does, this Boudreau does, it's working and it's gold. And, and I got to watch those words because I once said that about someone else. But he's moving the lines to players that are playing. They're showing up to play. That's what it is. And certain lines are staying what they are. But sometimes he'll throw a guy up to a different line who's playing better than maybe some of the other players. This type of thing, like he doesn't want to ignore this guy when the other two skaters on his line aren't doing so hot. And that's one of the reasons why the Wild are a first place club right now. And that's why this guy's got 8 division championships in his career. I mean, the Minnesota Wild are playing like a division champion right now, and it's awesome. You hope it continues. You really do. You can't expect great runs to always last, to sustain. I mean, the whole shutout thing, this is insanity. I mean, 180 minutes straight for Dubnyk. It's actually higher than that because he had some shutout minutes actually, no, he didn't. It went to overtime. My bad. That's actually why. So, yeah, that's a rare case where it went to overtime. So it literally is 180 straight minutes for Devan Dubnyk, a career high, franchise record. Insane. And this was his second shutout in a row. So you see beautiful things happening here. And Buffalo dominated on the faceoff. That's crazy when you think about that. 64% versus 36%. I mean, that's off the charts. Just schooled the Wild on the faceoff. They haven't been so hot there, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, the Wild defenders they tie the other team up. The other team's forwards up. They're physical. They're blocking shots. Koivu will block shots. This guy here and there. The Wild weren't spectacular in that category, and Buffalo played much more physical than the Wild the whole game, but the Wild's skill level significantly higher throughout the way. Players that were on their game throughout the night, are the ones that were skating out there when it mattered, and that's why Boudreau and the Wild, again, were able to put together a 4-0 victory. And, of course, Dubnyk was what he was. Just spectacular. Again, Pulkkinen sent down after this one. Zach Dalby's going to be hanging around for a while, especially with Parise being out. It's stuff like that. Now you have Parise out. So now not only you call up Tyler Graovac, you also call up Berskey. But then again, maybe Graovac was the one replacing Parise in a way. It's just kind of a shuffle situation. Eriksson Ek was moved all the way up to the top line. He played wing last night, though he played center at times on the third line with against the Dallas Stars. Kind of all over the place. Now, of course, this is October 29th, the Dallas Stars and the Wild. The Stars were not the same team that they were last year. That's safe to say. But at the same time, the Wild kicked their butts, and it's fantastic. Or did they really? They kicked their butts on the scoreboard. I shouldn't say the Wild kicked their butts because the Stars got a lot of shots on goal throughout the game. The Wild only mustered one shot on goal in the entire second period. They were stuck at 7 shots for like eternity. I mean, well into the third. 7 shots on goal. It was like 23-7, 24-7 into the third period. Only 6 shots in the first. But the thing is, who won the game? Who put the puck in the net? To make a quote from Darcy Kemper, the puck at the back of the net, that type of thing. You knew the Wild were in good standing though when you had a penalty. That's the bad part. But then Koivu and Granlund connect on a spectacular play. I mean, this is something else. On the shorthanded, the Wild forced the turnover. Koivu does the pull. Does the plug and pull. It's just a spectacular move on the Dallas defender. And then pushes the puck forward to Granlund, who finishes on his first goal of the season. And it was a beauty, a nice move past Kari Lehtinen, who was in net and wasn't really on his game spectacularly, though he didn't face a whole lot of shots, so definitely a save percentage very low in this one. Great move by Koivu, though. I mean, he pulled and put the puck forward, just made a nice move. Really, really beautiful play to put the Wild up 1-0 on a shorthanded goal. I mean, Granlund is all about getting shorthanded goals. Zucker's that kind of guy as well. But Granlund, because he's a great defender, great speed, and he gets his first goal of the season. He has a good number of assists already, does Granlund. But great play. Koivu, Granlund, the Finns there working together. Nice to see them playing together this year more than they had in the past. And it's a nice combination with Granlund on the wing now, freeing things up. We'll talk about that with Penny Allen, who has returned. Penny Allen has returned on the Facebook page. That'll be in segment number 2 when we talk about the prospects and such. Niederreiter with a rifle shot, just perfectly placed after Coyle and Granlund setting him up. Granlund with a multi-point game. Gotta like that. He's got 5 points on the season now, does Mikhail Granlund. Coyle just continues to rack up the numbers as well. Goals and assists. He is an overall stud right now, and I hope he continues that. But, Niederreiter rifled the puck past Kari Lehtinen's shoulder. That was nice. Eric Stahl on the power play. What a nice... oh, man. What a nice play by Eric Stahl, though. Just a nice move. And he also, again, another puck past the shoulder of Kari Lehtinen. That was awesome. But I think the best goal of the night was Granlund and Koivu. And it was the winning goal, too, if you can believe it. Who'd have thought of 1-0 in the first period would be the winning goal against the Dallas Stars? But it was, because Dubnyk was just absolutely spectacular the whole night. And the Stars were, again, not the same team they were last year. You didn't see the explosion that they are capable of. You didn't see it, but you did see an attack. Berskey and Graovac getting their first NHL points. Berskey, basically, the old classic hockey assist, getting the puck to Zucker, who made this guy can pass, man. I mean, I love what Zucker can do. He has really become a hell of a passer. I mean, in the past you saw him as a goal scorer. He's really added this wrinkle to his game. It's spectacular. I mean, this guy, he is something else. 5th assist in the season. Graovac kind of spinning, falling, and puts it past. I mean, he had to time it just right. Kind of a one-timer type of play. In fact, it's exactly what it was. Graovac had kind of almost like a Brett Hull type of goal where he's going down to the ground and put it past Kari Lehtinen. And what a nice story for Tyler Graovac, who came into last season, regular season opener, made the team outright. The 4th-line center coming in just like Eriksson Ek this season, but then again he had to wait with the whole visa situation. But Graovac, legitimate 4th-line center coming into last season after leading the AHL club in scoring the year before, getting the Iowa Wild, of course. injured right away. Lower body injury, as they like to say. That was a drag, big drag. And you didn't see him forever. Comes back with Iowa. Wasn't the same. Not much momentum. Was a minus the whole year. Was a definite minus in the category. And then comes into this year. Just didn't come in with a whole lot of energy. Boudreaux wasn't very happy. It looked like he was going to be the fourth line center just by default, and he wasn't. He just wasn't. And Eriksson Ek flat out beat him to that job. That was a given. And even Zach Dalpe, who's still here, and he had a very good scoring chance yesterday, and unfortunately couldn't capitalize on it. Put the puck over the net. It's unfortunate. He tried to raise it past Lettinen, and I don't know. It's unfortunate. And yeah. It's, I guess, one of the reasons why he's not quite at the NHL level necessarily, but I think Dalpe's been okay. He's capable of being a fourth-line center on whoever in the league. You need a player on the roster, that type of thing. He's good enough to fill that position, but if you have better options, and maybe Graovac can become that, because Eriksson Ek's moving up, baby. He's going to, and especially when Haula comes back, then it gets really interesting, but you'll see maybe Eriksson Ek on the wing at times as well, or even Haula on the wing. It's like everybody's on the way. You're going to see Stahl on the wing. We've seen it a couple of times playing with Koivu. Pretty crazy. Coyle's been a center. So it's like the Wild have a trillion guys that can play center and wing, that type of situation. Even Graovac might even be on the wing, even though he's more of a natural center. But what a nice story. He started out the season in Iowa terribly. And this might be more for segment 2, but I'll say it now as well. Started out the season terribly. It was like 3-4 games in. He was a minus 10, nothing going, and he scored his first goal finally. And then the night before, the Iowa Wild exploded. And yes, again, I'm ahead of things. The Milwaukee Admirals, the Wild played the Milwaukee Admirals Friday night, 6 goals for the Iowa Wild. Spectacular. 6-1 over the Milwaukee Admirals. And Graovac had 3 points in that game, a goal and 2 assists. 2 goals and 1 assist, just exploded on 4 shots. And he finally was a plus. That's kind of annoying. When you score 3 goals, he's only a +1. What the hell is up with that? Mike Riley, 3 assists in that game. I don't know what he's doing down there, but I don't know. And Berkey had 2 points, goal, assist. Just an explosion of a game. Alex Tuch, very quiet down there, only adding 1 assist. But again, I'm way ahead of myself. We'll come back to that in a second. But a fun game. I had to mention this. And it's like, that's when things started to turn for the young man, Graovac. And boom. Very happy for him. Maybe he'll get to stick around. Parisi's going to be out for a while from what it sounds. And you're hearing week to week. That's irritating and frustrating. It is what it is. Halla's been out for a while, too, and I think he's week to week as well, and damn it. So you're going to see Tyler Graovac here, especially if Halla's out, actually. Berkey's more of the winger type of guy who's going to temporarily benefit from Parise being out. But Berkey's also he's a prospect. He's more of a 6th-round pick, and then again, Tyler Graovac's a 7th-round pick, so you can't really complain about either one of them being too low, too high, whatever it is. Congratulations to both of them, at least being good at the AHL level and getting their first NHL point. That's got to feel great. Graovac was just about in tears last night, considering what he'd been through the last year or so. Looked like one of the beautiful sleepers in Chuck Fletcher's draft pick trophy case, you could say, because he doesn't have a whole lot, but this was one of them, along with Eric Haula and maybe the Russian guy we got as well this year. We'll talk about him some other time when we get the time for that. But man, oh man, nice little story. Congratulations, Tyler Graovac, and hopefully he can continue to take advantage of the situation here. That's how they make it. Eric Haula made it that way. They all do. So it is what it is. To keep it coming, because Eriksson Ek ain't going anywhere. I would be beyond shocked if Eriksson Ek was ultimately not on the Wild. That would shock the hell out of me, and it would piss me off. Look at a couple of numbers here before we jump into the awards and on to segment number 2. Devan Dubnyk, unbelievable, 5-1 on the season, save percentage 95. That's not gonna last, but if it does, he'd be the best goalie ever. 1.43 goals against average. Just what a positive. 3 shutouts already. He is going to have a better season than last year because this team is not going to be inconsistent like they were the previous year. The injuries are something you can't control, and of course, Parise again. For God's sakes, Zach Parise injured again. That really sucks. Hardcore. But Devan Donut, that's a good nickname. Devan Donut, yeah. Well, 3 donuts in a row. Unbelievable. And this episode will be called Donuts because, well, duh. Ryan Suter, though, 10 points already. Jason Zucker. This is why I keep saying the Wild are not going to be a 7th, 8th wild card, 7th, 8th seed wild card team this year, because look at these people. I mean, just look how much better everybody is this year. And then you add an Eriksson Ek, 5 points in 5 games, who did not score yesterday, but still factored in the game. I mean, he was valuable. Nice defensive plays, knocking players off the puck, creating scoring chances. Eriksson Ek is a legitimate NHL player already. Parisi, well, he's hurt again, but hopefully he'll be back in the saddle soon. Coyle's got 7 points already. I mean, just wow. Eric Stahl, that's another guy, in addition to the team who was not so good the past couple of years, but he's looking like he's really regaining a lot of his form. He leads the team in goals already with 4. Again, with that beautiful power play goal. You wouldn't have seen that from him last year. I mean, you're seeing a new guy here again. Zucker. Again, I mean, how many points did he have the last 2 years? Like 40 points in 2 years? He was not good. Boom. Look at him. 7 points already. And he is, again, showing spectacular ability to create for others. Wow. Chris Stewart with 5 points already. Brodin hasn't been that hot. He got a couple of points early, which is nice. I mean, that's unusual for him, but his defense kind of in and out, and of course that breakaway intercept, that cross-ice pass that he made was terrible. He's settled down a little bit since then, but certainly doesn't stand out at all thus far. Folin has been really damn good. He doesn't factor in the scoring much, but he's been a wonderful story. He's probably going to stay on the team. Now, to be fair, Jonas Brodin is a +7, so he has gotten better. Zucker is a +9, and Folin is a +9, despite the fact he only has 1 assist, and he finally got it the other night in Buffalo, New York. Folin, a +9. He's been very good, very steady. That's awesome. We'll pass out the awards now. So the Mike Madonna Award, who do you think it's going to go to? It's going to go to Zach Dalpe, for sure. Zach Dalpe is going to get the, it's Devan Dubnyk, Devan Donut getting 2 shutouts in 2 games. And these weren't the kind of shutouts where you only get 17 shots from a team that's basically hung over from whatever, just beat up, tired, they're not too good. Hopefully they're not legitimately hung over. That would be kind of dumb. That would be not, you can't really take a team seriously if they're that way, but not that the Wild got a whole lot of shots on goal, but they executed. They took smart shots, but also at the same time, their shots were blocked about 400 times by the Dallas Stars. But the ones that got through legitimately, and they were great plays. Devan Dubnyk stopped everything that came his way the last 3 games, and in the Wild have outscored their opponents 12-0 in 3 games. This is one of the most beautiful 3-game winning streaks you'll ever see, ever. And you see young guys step up, you see veterans step up, a total team effort. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of situations in these past 3 games where you're going to say, man, that guy sucked. He really let us down, man. He's scaring me. You don't really feel that at all from hardly anybody on this roster. But Dubnyk stands out above the rest so far, without a doubt in this. Why would I am even saying so far? But he's standing out without a doubt this season. Was very good in the New Jersey game. Deserved a better fate than he got. Without a doubt, he deserved a better fate. And even the St. Louis game, he wasn't that. He was kind of stinky in that one. But it was only 3 goals. It's just they weren't very good. And then ever since then, he was like, enough of this. And wow. Gotta love it. So for the James Shepard Memorial, I'll give it to Timo Pulkkinen, and it's not piling on the guy. It's just kind of invisible. I mean, you barely even knew he was out there. I basically forgot about him. Dalpe, same thing, you could kind of say. Kind of a bummer. He hasn't been that bad, but certainly he's blown some easy scoring chances, or at least he could have put in at least a better opportunity with what he had. I mean, right in front of the net, and you can't even have a shot on net. That's kind of lame. So it's kind of like those 2 guys. I don't know. I don't mean to pile on 2 guys that are kind of at the bottom there. I feel bad for him in that sense. Scandella hasn't been factoring in the scoring, but his defense has been good. We'll give him credit there. Injuries drive us crazy, and it's too bad. You got Halla. But the Wild have hung on strong during that time. You saw Spurgeon miss quite a few games there. Missed 4 games, but he was back last night and was a factor. Didn't score, but his defense was definitely key to the Wild's victory. So that's good. Injuries in a lot of ways could also be the James Shepard Memorial. Big disappointment. I almost ought to call it the A.J. Thielen Memorial. That guy didn't even exist. But people know who James Shepard is. At least some of you do. Fun little couple games here, and hopefully it continues. Pulkkinen, needs to show up. I thought he was a little better than that, but I don't know. He's certainly no Eriksson Ek, is he? We'll see, though. Pulkkinen's one of those kind of guys. He might be the classic player where you think there's more there and there just isn't, that type of thing. You know, like the Wild have had a lot of guys like that over the years where they're like the third, fourth line guy that might have a little bit of potential. Maybe there might be something there and it's just not there. Some of us feared that might have been Erik Haula 2 years ago, but yeah, well, if he could frickin' stay healthy, he's missed 5 games already now. If he can friggin' stay healthy, he's a legitimate, at least third-line center in this league. So there you go. Fun segment. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll come back after the break to talk about the games coming up in November, at least a week's worth of them. And then, of course, jump into the prospects some more and talk to you on Facebook and Twitter. There's a little bit going on there, so a little bit more fan interaction finally. So welcome back. We'll talk to you then. Back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 2, preview a couple games, some check up on Iowa Wild and fan interaction. So let's jump on board. Only 2 games to preview, if you can believe it. The schedule's getting a little, there's a lot of stretches here. November the 1st, that's obviously a little ways away. Tuesday, November the 1st, is the next game the Wild host the Buffalo Sabres. So we play Buffalo again. And then our first trip to Colorado isn't until Saturday, November the 5th. That's a 4-day stretch there. And then a 5-day stretch all the way up to Thursday, November the 10th. So I'm only going to preview the 2 games here just because the schedule gets a little bit scary. You get a Eastern road trip. I won't call it East Coast, but getting closer to the East Coast. We'll say Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Ottawa. So, significantly east of here, basically. A little bit area before the coast, you could say. And then they have a back-to-back. They got a pretty busy schedule after that. It goes to back-to-back Philadelphia, Ottawa. That'll be interesting. And then the Wild come back to host Calgary just 2 days later and host Boston. Little home stretch. It's going to be an interesting month in November. Always very key to the Wild's success coming up. A game, the Wild should win is against the Buffalo Sabres at home, and there's no reason why I wouldn't pick them to. And after that many days of break, after days of rest, probably going to keep riding Devan Dubnyk, even though you'd think maybe you might as well have him play against Buffalo, but have him rest against Buffalo and then play against Colorado. But again, a 4-day stretch in between there. So I would not be surprised if Devan Dubnyk plays both of those games, actually. And that, to me, spells good things thus far, just barring some type of crazy change of events that I'd like to not imagine. Tyler Innes, I thought he was a little younger than he is. So that's one thing I should mention. I get a lot of these guys mixed up, and I do apologize. Even Ryan O'Reilly's been around. He's kind of a veteran. He's a little bit younger, but yeah, McGinnis already like 27. Can't believe that. Or Tyler Innes. I just called him McGinnis. I don't know. Buffalo's one of those teams. You'd think they'd have more prospects at this stage, but they just don't right now. Johan Larsson has 3 points in 7 games. That's obviously the former Wild player. I always like to check up on him because all kinds of players that have busted over the course of time for them. Hudson Fasching, still nothing going on in 5 games for him. So, I don't know. Again, I would figure if he scores his first goal of the season against the Wild, but I don't know. The way Dubnyk is playing, I don't know who's going to score for Buffalo. You can't really pick a shutout, though. That's kind of crazy. Anders Nielsen actually has been having a very good season, even though him and Robert Lehner so far basically have been a platoon. Lehner's really been struggling. 3 goals against. To think the Wild scored 4 goals against Nielsen and his goals against average is 1.95. That's extremely impressive. I mean, that's not much worse than Dubnyk. He even has a shutout so far this year. Kyle Oposo, one of the better players on the team. Matt Molson still leads the way with 4 goals, believe it or not. Sam Reinhart is actually the top prospect right now on the Buffalo Sabres lineup at this stage. 4 points on the season. Regardless, we just played them. We should beat them at home. The Wild are undefeated at home. They've been fantastic there. I'll go with a 3-1 victory for the Wild in this one. I'm sure the Wild will get outshot again, like they always do, but maybe it'll be a little better this time around. Maybe Boudreau's going to say, "Hey, let's get a couple more shots on net." That would be great. But the Wild will win 3-1 in, of course, obviously a regulation victory. You'll never really get the vibe like the Wild are going to lose unless maybe Buffalo scores early, but then the Wild will end up winning the game 3-1. Most likely guy to score in this one, Charlie Coyle. I'll go with Charlie Coyle for that game. And then, of course, Saturday, November the 5th, the Colorado Avalanche, the hated Avalanche. How are they doing? I don't want to know. They suck, right? No, I'm kidding. No, Colorado is one of those teams. They're always kind of hanging around. Patrick Roy, obviously, no longer there. So that's kind of interesting to see how things will start with that one. A lot of the same suspects, the usual suspects, as we like to say in the business. Colorado Avalanche, Matt Duchene leading the way right now with 7 points in 7 games. Good for him. Colorado's not played as many games as other teams. That's kind of been going on for a while. Erik Johnson, 4 assists. He's their top defenseman, of course, the former goal, number 1 overall pick. Nathan MacKinnon, 1 goal, 5 assists so far for him. Well, I mean, Nathan MacKinnon's always a threat. Matt Duchene's the best player on the team. Where's the guy? Landeskog, of course, always looking to start something in the past. I don't think Boudreau's going to allow this team to respond to that guy. And if we do, we do. It is what it is, but it probably won't be too much. Maybe you'll see Chris Stewart beat him up or Zach Dalpe. Somebody like that might start a fight with him. Or not start a fight, but get into the fight with him. I'm sure Landeskog will be the guy initiating things. Nothing special about the Avalanche so far. I mean, they're not doing that great. They're 4th place in the division. They do have a 4-3 record, so good for them, I guess. They're not doing that bad. Varlamov so far this season, 2.82 goals against average. That's not that good. He does have a shutout. He's faced a lot of shots, so of course with that 90% save percentage, does have a shutout on the year, but the goals against average, kind of not the best. And Calvin Pickard, well, his numbers are a little better. I mean, 2.49, save percentage about the same, slightly better. Doesn't have a shutout. So, I mean, Varlamov has had a up and down history against the Wild. He's a decent goalie. He's talented. Calvin Pickard's one of those backups that, you don't really hear about him much, but he's faring all right so far. So good for him overall. This is in Colorado. The Wild's history there is all over the place. I don't even know where to go with this one. But I do know who's the most likely guy to score a goal in it because, I don't know, I go with it every time, and he has a good history against them, and that would be Nino Niederreiter. I mean, I'm going to go with him. Pickard was taken by the Avalanche in the second round with the 49th overall pick back in 2010. A younger guy, so who knows? I mean, a fairly high pick. Nice little prospect for Colorado. Varlamov, he's all right. He's hot and cold. He started his career really well. And he's had his moments. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's hard to believe Patrick was actually no longer the head coach. It's kind of weird, kind of surprising. But he just stepped down. He just didn't want to be there anymore. That was kind of it for him. Varlamov's 4 years older, by the way, than Pickard. Not quite spelled the same as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, but you get the idea there. Another game. Obviously, this is a team you should beat, but it's a division rival. There's all this history back and forth with each other. It's been fantastic. You had the playoff series, all that good stuff. You've had a lot of back and forth matchups. I mean, if the Wild, I don't know. I mean, I think the Wild's win streak is more likely to end on that Eastern road trip. I got to go with 2 wins again. And I'm sorry if that might annoy some people out there a little bit. It's going to be one of those weird games, I think. I think Colorado's definitely not going to be shut out by Dubnyk, and if they are, I'd be beyond shocked. Because I remember Kemper a couple of years ago shut out Colorado in back-to-back games to start out the season. That was awesome. But then again, we all know what happened with Kemper later on that year. That's why Devan Dubnyk's on the roster in the first place, if you know what I'm saying there, a couple of years ago. I don't expect a shutout against Colorado. I just don't. And if he keeps this going, I mean, good Lord, why couldn't you do this in a playoff series instead? Or in the Stanley Cup Finals, something like that, or final, as they like to say. Boy. This is going to be one of those really close ones, I think. I'm going to go 3-2 in Minnesota. They're going to win the game. It's going to be a lot of crap going on. It might even be higher scoring, like 4-3. I'm gonna go with the save. Well, yeah, since the Wild's offense has been so good, I'll go with 4-3. It's gonna be one of those games where you're frustrated, throwing remote controllers at the TV or whatever the heck it is. Maybe just a pillow, I don't know, or bricks, whatever you want to do, or taking slap shots at the television. That might not be a good idea, but you get the idea. 4-3 victory for the Wild. One of those frustrating divisional games. There's gonna be a lot of fighting, a lot of chippy crap. Stuff like that. It's an annoying matchup, but the Wild will pull it out 4-3. Most likely guy to score in the game, Niederreiter. Hopefully Erik Haula comes back one of these days. We could really use him against Colorado. Granlund is another guy that's always played well against the Colorado Avalanche. Hopefully he can show up and do that on that night. 4-3 victory for the Wild. It is what it is. Frustrating battle, frustrating type of matchup, even though they're not that good, but at the same time, they know us well. They know our smell, that whole saying. So it is what it is. 4-3 victory for the Minnesota Wild in a frustrating but victorious game in Colorado, in my humble opinion. And then you head to the East Coast, or eastern area. It's not quite the coast. And it gets a little bit tougher, in my humble opinion. Let's check in on the Iowa Wild. I mentioned that 6-goal game the other night. That was awesome. 2 assists for Gustav Olsson, who done a whole lot of nothing for a while there. Mike Riley, 3 assists. It's just cool to see. And it's funny, Mike Riley, who obviously is more likely considered Minnesota Wild than an Iowa Wild, he's leading the team in scoring in only 4 games with 6 assists, just dominating down there. It'll be nice to see Riley start to rack up some points at the NHL level soon, hopefully. Alex Chuck, only 4 assists so far down there. Sam Anas finally adding another goal along the way. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist so far down there in 5 games. He got bit by the injury bug for a little bit. Olofsson, again, getting 2 assists. That's nice to see. He's now up to 3 points for the year. Schrader, 4 goals, 6 points total. He's definitely he's the best overall player so far on that roster, but he's played the entire 8 games. It was nice to see the little flourish from Tyler Graovac, and that's one of the reasons he's up here instead of Jordan Schrader, I suppose, and Bertschy. They've kind of seen enough from Schrader. I get the vibe, and you're getting a vibe. There's a little frustration going on with Schrader in the organization. Adam Gilmore also is, his first full type of season. He played only a couple of games late last year when the Wild signed him out of Boston College. He's got a nice... There's some possibility with him making the NHL roster at some point. He's a former 4th-round pick, but he's already performing at the AHL level. Nice little playmaker for the Wild. Definite difference in the net, though, between Steve Michalek, who I thought did a really good job last year, despite running into a wall for a little while. But for the most part, he was pretty good down there at the AHL level, moving up from the Mallards there, the Quad City Mallards. He's 3-0 so far, and he was in that victorious game there. Of course, how can you lose with a 6-goal performance? But he only gave up 1. 2.37 goals against average save percentage, 93. Alex Stalock, really not good. 1 win, 4 losses, 4.28 goals against average. He's not been doing well. 87% save percentage. Stalock struggling down there in Iowa. The Iowa Wild, that is, are 4-4, so better than last year. They won a couple games in a row. They won on Saturday night also against the Milwaukee Admirals. 3-2 victory. Another win for Stephen Michalek. He has been very strong, and good for him. Keep it up. It's very, very encouraging. Adam Vey was actually the backup goalie in the night. Stalock struggling down there, and it's too bad. Hopefully he can kind of get things together again, because a lot of people may have saw Alex Stalock as the guy who will ultimately replace Kemper as the backup goalie if the Wild give up on Kemper. They trade him, or they send him to, maybe they get so frustrated with him they send him down to Iowa. And then things get really interesting at that stage. But if anybody comes up from Iowa to be the backup goalie, I think it's Steve Michalek. Of course, he's a former draft pick as well, so he is a prospect in the system. So it does count. He's fairly young, too. He's not exactly like 25, 26, 27. He's a young guy. So nice future there. Nice hopes there. Steve Michalek stepping up down at the AHL level. And nice to see a lot of the prospects stepping up to the plate down there. That's good to see indeed. So we'll check in with the fan interaction Facebook page. Facebook.com/Brave the Wild. Facebook.com/Brave the Wild for the Facebook page. Simply go there and click like. For the Twitter account, it's @Brave the Wild, and all this information will be in the show description on iTunes, Stitcher, Double Twist, and also on thesportstuff.com, of course. So there it is. When it comes to the Twitter account, it's mostly just follows and likes and all that stuff, and a retweet from Vince Germano. It's Lakers, Pies, and Browns. That's cool. Thank you very much for the retweet. Really appreciate it. And sometimes Tanae Brown, also out of New Zealand, retweets as well. Thank you for that very much, all of you out there, for the retweeting. Thank you, Vince, in this case, and for the likes, and for the new followers out there who are hockey fans. That's good to know. Nice to know. I got some new people jumping on board for the Facebook page, wherever that is, right? Again, please go there, click like. There is a phone-in line. It is 209-736-7877, 209-736-7877. It is a voicemail. Do treat it as such. Mention you're calling in to Brave the Wild, and do your statement, shout-out, comment, question, whatever it is. You'll be on the air with me. For those of you that are overseas, there's multiple ways to get on board as well. See, like the other number, you can just call that from your cell phone, and you're good to go if you're in the United States, of course, like Minnesota or wherever. But those of you that are international, multiple ways to get on board. There's the call now button right on the Facebook page. It goes through Facebook Messenger. So you could be from anywhere, and it goes straight to the line and treat it the same way as such. There's also the audio submission route, which you use your voice recorder on any smart device on the planet, smartphone, smart tablet, whatever the heck it is, and just record it for a minute and then email it to paladinolive@yahoo.com, paladinolive@yahoo.com. You could even make it 2 minutes. This show would really like to hear somebody's voice on it at some point. Mike Good, from locally here in Litchfield, he's a goalie, and he says, "Go Wild," and he joined the page recently. So welcome aboard, Mike Good. Nice picture there with him wearing a Devan Dubnyk jersey. No, that's not Dubnyk. That's Backstrom. Pardon me. I'm going crazy. Sorry, number 32. I'm losing my mind. Dubnyk's number 40. And he's in his goalie jersey and goalie pads and all that good stuff, so hopefully he's doing well. Benny Allen out of Australia says, "Do you think the Wild will keep Eriksson Ek after the 9 games?" Looking like he is a good fit for the team. And yes, I do believe Yule, I almost did it again, Yule Eriksson Ek will be on the roster for the remainder of the season and for a long time. I mean, if there's ever a time he has to get sent down to the AHL, that would be it. I don't think he's going to be going back to Sweden, to the Swiss League. I think he'll be here, and we're going to be enjoying it. We're going to be enjoying it indeed. I'm very happy. Talk is that the Edmonton Oilers really did want him in the past during that draft, but they didn't have a pick at the time, and they were unable to work out a trade. So good on the Wild for taking Yule Eriksson Ek. Looks like a wonderful, wonderful pick. He's ahead of Alex Tuck, who was taken a year before him. And, of course, 13, when the Wild did not have a draft pick, that went for Jason Pominville. And then in 2012, you got Matt Dumba, who's on the roster and doing well for the most part. He's got that big, powerful shot on the power play, a little inconsistent defensively. But, again, that powerful shot is very helpful. It creates rebounds. And, of course, it can go past the goalie as well. Really appreciate what Matt Dumba has been in 11 as Brodeen. See, now I'm going back, and then Granlund is 10. You can go on forever there. Kuma. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to think about that. Letty was 09. Kuma was 08. Yeah, I'm going back forever there. But, yeah, you can go back forever with it. But Eriksson Ek, I mean, he is ahead of the curve, and it is a wonderful thing. I'm very happy. 5 points in 5 games. And then that's with not getting any points last night. But again, even when he doesn't score, so many times he'll regain the puck in those little battles. He'll force a turnover, or he'll just get the puck back, simply stated, or he'll create a nice scoring chance that maybe just that time around did not work out. Benny Allen continuing staying in Granlund on the wing is so much better than that is so much better. That shorthander was a thing of beauty, and I completely agree, Benny. And thank you very much for your involvement with the show. Boudreau has been the perfect fit for the team. Not afraid to do anything, and having Granlund on the wing, it's a great idea. Frees him up, and now he has more energy than ever, and that's a huge key. And you're going to see Eriksson Ek even play some wing. You've seen Stahl play some wing. It's all over the place. You'll see Coyle at center for a shift. It's all over the place, and if it's working, it's working. So why the heck change it? Very cool. Why the heck stop what you're doing is what I should say. really, really happy with the progress of this team, and I think they will remain in first place into the next episode at the very least. And then St. Louis is breathing down the Wild's back at this stage, so don't be surprised with that, of course. And Chicago is going to be right there. Dallas will pick it up one of these days, but we hope they don't. So, that West, that Eastern road trip will be a huge test for this team going into the next. We'll be talking about that on the next episode, though, and previewing those games. Or we might be playing catch-up with that, depending on how my schedule goes. So until then, I want to wish all of you a wonderful, happy Halloween. So we're saying that again. Be safe, be smart, use common sense, all that. Unfortunately, no hockey for a few days, and then some big breaks, that and such. So I guess keep up with the Timberwolves and the Vikings, I guess, if you're able to. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Chicago Cubs are going to win the World Series, so that kind of sucks. But who knows? Maybe they'll pull off the great comeback that the Cleveland Cavaliers did. Maybe they'll be like the anti-Cleveland, if you know what I mean, this time around. They'll be Chicago's version of it. So who knows what's going to happen? Thank you all again for listening. Do tell your friends. Please rate Brave the Wild on iTunes. It would be greatly appreciated. I'll give you a shout-out on the show and a big fat thank you because it's really, really helpful to potential listeners of the show. So thanks again for your time and for your dedication and for your involvement on the show. Until next time, do take care.